Welcome to Girls on Fire ATX. I'm your host, Samantha.
And I'm your host, Esther.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, Sam.
It is a beautiful Monday.
A beautiful, beautiful Monday. Today I'm a fucking unicorn.
She literally is a unicorn, if you guys can't tell.
Man, I don't know. I love onesies.
I know you do. It's funny because I forget who I was talking to, or someone was asking me, like how close you and I were. And I was like, I think that we're like really close. I said, it's funny because even though we don't hang out all the time, I was like, Esther and I are like polar opposites in a sense. So I almost feel
Girls on Fire ATX.
So close. It's because like she compliments things that I don't have. And I'm like, Esther's that person that will wear a fucking onesie out in public and does not give a fuck what anybody thinks.
I don't.
Example.
I just
But
think
it looks super cute on you.
okay. My mindset is like, you know, when you're a kid and you're like, well, when I'm older, I'm going to have a pink house with pink carpet and I'm going to wear like this and I'm going to wear sparkles and all that stuff, you know, somewhere along the lines, like people just like form into like the norms.
Yeah.
Well, bitch, I still like unicorns and I still like the pink stuff. So it's like,
Hey,
I just like to wear it. It's just what I like.
Yeah.
And people
That's all that matters.
compliment me on it. And sometimes people will make comments about it. And I'm like, okay, well.
It's just because they would never do it. And that like they wouldn't be able to go out in public and something like that without feeling insecure. It's really all it comes down to.
No, I know. And
like even I would never do it. And it's not because, I mean, it's I get 50-50 to like, I don't give a fuck. But at the same time, I'm like, I would just feel so awkward in a onesie in public.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's just that's like you.
It's a me thing. I don't care.
Everyone has like their own things, but it's cool that you recognize it because some people don't. Like some people will literally be like,
yeah,
why are you wearing that? You're doing like oh
yeah,
girl.
you wearing that doesn't affect me at all on any level. So like me making a comment about you wearing it would only show my insecurities.
Yeah, like the other day I was at emo night and I wore like a black wig. Like I overdid it. But I loved it every minute of it.
No, I thought I saw pictures. That was for Andy's thing. It looks like you guys look so cute though.
Yeah. So I ran into this girl and the first thing that came out of her mouth, she's like, oh, hey, Esther. And she looked me up and down. She's like, don't you think you're overdoing it tonight? And I literally looked her in the face. I was like, no.
I'm going to be like, you're not doing enough.
I was like, I don't think so. And she was just kind of rude. She's drunk. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm out of this conversation.
People.
It's like, don't be a hater, bitch. Do not be a hater.
Damn. People, you know.
My outfit's cute. It says Fitzy on it.
Yeah. Anyways.
My little nickname.
I kind of wanted to touch base. So obviously we talk about dating a lot. And we have. And like, it's always like the funny stuff. But what I think would be really good to talk about, because I feel like a lot of our listeners would relate, is how hard it is to date.
Oh my God. It's
in today's society.
Hard. Oh my God.
Like, I know that obviously you and Tyler are like fairly new. What have you guys been together for a few months now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like how long you were single and like the different types of relationships you went through and like how hard dating was, like getting back into it. You know, I think that it's so much harder now than it ever was before.
Oh my God. It's incredibly hard. Because like when I was single, like before I was in the spiritual journey, I was just paying like what I was looking for was somebody that wanted to drink and be carefree like me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was labeled as weird because they're like, no. So I always try to find basically, and a better lack of way to say it was, I was just trying to find a bartender that was an alcoholic just like me. That would get the schedule, that would want to go out and party, that was always down and blah, blah. Because majority of like my coworkers are just like always down, especially like the males. But then I realized that I just didn't want to do that anymore. So then when I like started my spiritual journey and stuff like that, I was like, okay, well, that's not really what I'm looking for, because like that's fun for like a certain amount of time, but then you have this giant void that is just not met and it's just not filled. So then when I started dating, I was just dating all kinds of different people. Mm-hmm. I dated this one guy that was starting a CEO of his own company, and he was super smart, and I was just more like, I wasn't really like interested in like a romantic, but just more about like his mind. I'm like, why do you think that way? Like, he's obsessed with Elon Musk. And like,
I mean, it's a great guy to be obsessed with.
Yeah. But like, he was just so like, he has a lot of the same like countries. Like, I remember like, I'd ask him questions like, so if you saw me like going and hang out with another guy, would you get me mad? And he's like, no.
I always love asking people those like jealousy questions because I had a conversation with a guy. He's 21 years old. He's the barback that works with me, and it's funny because obviously I'm not so much older, but it's always cool to kind of hear different people's perspectives. And he's like, you know, if I go to the bathroom and I come back and my girlfriend's talking to a guy, then I'm just going to fucking leave and she can figure it out later. And I'm like, well, that's kind of rude, don't you think? He's like, well, she shouldn't be entertaining. I'm like, okay, but why don't you look at it from this perspective? I'm like, she's sitting at the bar minding her own business. If someone comes up to her and tries to talk to her, I was like, it's kind of rude to put your hand in somebody's face and be like, oh, I have a boyfriend, don't talk to me. Like, are she not allowed to have like a normal conversation with someone? It doesn't always have to be flirting. It doesn't always, I said, who's to say that, you know, he comes up, hits on her. She's like, sorry, I have a boyfriend. They get to talking. She might realize that you and him might be cool. Like, he might be someone that you'd be interested in being friends with. Yeah. Or like being a good connection because maybe he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, he was just so close-minded to the fact like, no, she shouldn't be talking to any man. And I'm like, well, good luck finding a girlfriend because in my opinion, like if any guy ever tried to come to me and was like, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that and don't talk to these, I'm sorry. Peace out, bitch.
Well, that goes back to the person I was talking about. Like, it was very refreshing to meet somebody that didn't have that mentality. Yeah. And basically what it was like, we're having fun right now. And at the end of the day, as long as like you're cool and I'm cool, I will always like have your back or whatever. And it's like, and if you want to go see other people, go see other people. Like if it's just not like, it was just so refreshing.
Well, that comes, I mean, honestly,
I carried that.
Well, that's a self-reflection of the fact that like he loves himself.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I know we've had these conversations, like in order for you to truly be happy in a relationship, you should not be reliant on that other person because you give yourself everything that you need. And I think that's the thing that people forget, and that like it really is I mean, I struggle with it every single day, like wanting and needing attention from from the person that I like, you know, wanting to see them all the time. And I'm like, I shouldn't need that. I don't need that to be, to have that validation in a sense, to feel like I'm important. I should feel that way by myself. And that's what makes me realize that I'm not ready to be in a relationship yet, because I still need those validations to feel like I'm worth something, and I shouldn't need that. I have to give that to myself.
Yeah. Well, when it came to dating, the aspect of it was just kind of like, I just started dating all different kinds of people to really figure out what it was that I was looking for and that I liked.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I kind of found Tyler, because at the end of the day, he knows and I know that it's like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
But I love you.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It's really like how it's
his words, not mine.
It almost kind of sounds, I don't know what the word is, but it's like you got to find someone that can add value to your life, you know? And it doesn't need to be like a materialistic value, but it's like my biggest thing with the person that I like is like, you push me. You make me want to be better. You make me not want to be insecure. You make me not want to rely on you.
Right.
And like those are the things that I want, because it's like at the end of the day, I don't want to feel like I need you to be whole. Right. And if I feel that way, then this is not a healthy relationship. You know?
It's just like in the industry, I mean, it's just a lot harder to date because we just see people being unfaithful. We see people like watching how people treat one another, and it's just all based off ego and misogyny and narcissism.
I'm curious to know, for everyone that's listening, what would you say is the hardest thing about dating in today's society? Like, leave a comment below so that we can read them later. But I'm curious to know what your personal opinion is on like whether it's how to find people, like certain traits or qualities that people have now, whether you think it's social media, like what is it that you find the hardest when it comes to dating these days? Because in like my opinion, I think that it's that people are like, I have come to find that I would rather have a guy that doesn't have social media. I'd rather have a guy that doesn't go out and party or drink, because I don't want to have to like, and it all falls back on my own insecurities, but it's because I'm so used to, like, every guy I've dated has cheated on me, and whether it would have been through some fucking Instagram person, like they were messaging on Instagram and like liking other girls' photos, or like going out to the bar and like flirting with girls behind my back, or whatever it is. Like, it's like, so now I've gotten to the point where, like, I'd rather have a guy that doesn't drink, that doesn't really like to go out, that doesn't have social media, you know, because I'm like, I don't want to have to worry about those things, because it just makes me, I'm like, I can't compete with the fucking Instagram model that has 300,000 followers.
What do you mean you can't compete?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I'm about to
Yeah,
whop
no.
you with my horn, bitch.
like, just in general, like, I'm just like stating, like, that's,
But
you
yeah,
know,
no, I get it. Like,
people think they have so many options that it's like, because they can just swipe right and scroll up and look at the next story, and it's just
Well,
like,
you have to think it's like a generational thing. Like,
Yeah.
as we got, like, generations become egotistical. Like, so you're watching, like, basically all these lost children, right?
Yeah.
Not being guided, and then kind of trying to follow the social norms, but also trying to figure out what they like. And it's just like, they're
well,
fitting
people
in.
not being themselves either. Like,
No, and they're not. And so it's like so quick to be like, oh, like, I'm vulnerable and I gave you a little bit of me right now, but you're not reacting in the way that I want you to. So guess what? So-and-so liked my photo, and so this. So I'm going to go entertain them because that's a safer option
It's
than to
being-
actually deal with it.
Yeah. I think in dating, it's being authentically real. It's being authentically yourself and not expecting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment that you start expecting them to reciprocate or give you things that you want in return, that's when you're letting, it's like having unrealistic expectations. When you start expecting things from other people, that's when you're going to be let down.
Yeah.
Because it is not up to that person to meet your expectations. It is up to you to meet your expectations. So when you let go of your expectations, you can't be disappointed.
Yeah. Like, I have a couple friends that, like, have it in their mindset that they need to, like, get married and have kids and settle down. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
Why? Why?
I mean, I
settle with,
used to
like,
think that way. I like literally back when I was in high school, I would have, if I had high school me here and me now, like high school me would be like, I'm going to be married by 25 and have 2 kids and a family and a house and all these things. And little did I know that never fucking happened. I mean, I have a beautiful daughter, but other than that, like, nothing panned out the way I like expected it to or thought it was going to, based on like how I was raised.
Yeah. Like, and low key reference, and I don't mean to say this in a bad light whatsoever, but like, my sister's the same way.
Yeah.
My sister's looking and longing for that guy that's going to come and rescue her and take care of her, and they're going to get married and have kids and live happily ever after.
Well, not just her, anyone that expects, like, is
Yeah.
waiting for, again, she's being dependent on someone else to make her happy. And it sucks because I know this now, but anyone that thinks this way, and I'm not to I'm calling all y'all out who are listening, anyone that thinks that you need another person to be happy or be whole,
like, seek yourself.
rude
first.
fucking awakening, that you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you know right now, you're never going to be happy because you're never going to face the things that you need to face on your own in order to make yourself happy. You do not need another human being to be happy. And the moment that you realize that is when you actually accomplish true happiness.
Right. That's literally like,
And it doesn't just happen and then you're never going to have to worry about it again. It's something that you have to work at every single day. It's something that you're going to have to work at the rest of your life. But it's just knowing that you don't need another person to make you happy. It's fucking face your goddamn demons, people.
that I used to always seek my self-worth through men. And this is the first time that I don't, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty secure in who I am. And that's why it's so secure and so like.
I mean, that's why you and Tyler have such a great relationship, though, is because you guys are great people on your own, and you don't need each other to be happy. You're happy already.
Yeah. I'm not seeking his approval.
Yeah.
Nor is he looking for mine. But, like, I used to look for it in other people, right? And then, like, it's just crazy because it's like my self-worth would be, if they love
Dependent
me, then I'm
on,
lovable.
yeah,
and that
absolutely.
they, like, I can't do these decisions without them and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
It's such a, like, I don't want you guys to think that this is something that we have mastered, because I fucking don't. You know, like, the amount of times I sit here and I'm like, I'm a words of affirmation person. I need people to tell me how they feel about me in order for me to feel good. That is not healthy. That is not okay. I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, Samantha, you're fucking worthy. You're beautiful. You're this, you're that. And, like, if someone else tells me, yeah, it feels great, a fucking 100%. But at the same time, like, it's not going to make or break my day if that person doesn't tell me those things, because I've already told myself and I already believe in those things myself.
Yeah. Like, the thing is like, when I would be dating, like, other people, like, I kind of already knew that it was either going to work out or it wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was my choice if I wanted to keep entertaining it for, like, ego reasons and the feeling of not wanting to be alone.
Yeah.
And I'll, like, okay, so, like, this is going to sound so awful, but this is literally what I did, is that, like, because I was coming into, like, my divine, like, energy and all that shit, like, I shouldn't say shit, but, like, I was coming into myself and feeling more confident.
Your divine feminine.
Yeah, like, I was coming in, like, more to myself, that I was getting more attention from guys. Like, guys that used to reject me. Also, I don't know if my blonde hair had anything to do with that, but
people are attracted to confidence.
Yes. So I was like, guys that wouldn't even look at me were, like, paying attention to me. And it was just interesting because, like, I was like, yeah. And I started becoming kind of like, okay, you're interested in me, then you can take me out. I started getting the courage to be like, no, like, we're going to do this. And so if I would, like, go on a dates with so-and-so, like, and I knew it wasn't going to work out, I would entertain it until I found the next option. And then I would go, and then I would be talking to multiple people at one time.
I mean, that's what dating is, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Because I was figuring out what I want. And I'm not trying to, and I was upfront too. It wasn't like, I was like, I just want you to know, like,
I think that's the most important thing is, like, people being honest. Being honest about what you're looking for, being honest about what you want, being upfront with how you feel. It's when you tiptoe around those things. And, like, if you're seeing someone and someone says, hey, I'm really starting to fall in love with you, I really like you, I really can't wait to, and you don't feel the same and you don't fucking tell that person, you're a piece of shit human.
Yeah.
Because you're letting this person believe that you feel the same way by not, like, basically by staying with them or continuing to do what you're doing if you don't feel the same way.
Right. So, yeah, like, basically that's kind of how I was. But then I was also kind of a bitch too, like, because some of these guys, like, I could, like, see them being like what they were saying was full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, one guy in particular was constantly sending me things like, I want to do this with you. We're going to go travel here and we're going to do this and all this. Very dreamy. And prior to that, I would have eaten all that shit up. But because I was so aware, I was like, you're full of shit. Yeah. You're so full of shit. And then, like, obviously, you know, you have social media, so you can really, a girl's intuition's always right. But then if we call them out, then we're fucking crazy and that we're thinking too much, or, I never said that, blah, blah, blah. But I ended up calling this guy out. I'm like, okay, you just broke up with your girlfriend. You're just moving to Austin. And you're telling me all these things about what we're going to do. And you're telling me, like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then you're telling me that you don't want a relationship, but then that you want to only hang out with me. Like, so what you want is you want to have your cake and eat it too. So I was like,
this goes back to why dating is so hard, is because people expect to have all of the relationship things without actually being in the relationship.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they get to have you, but they don't. But if something else comes along that they think is better, they can just drop you and then go on. Well, we weren't dating. You weren't my girlfriend.
So, like, you're in the, oh dude, I called him out. I was like, I didn't even ask his friends. I was like, what's his issue? I was like, is he kind of a bad guy? And they basically kind of nonchalantly told me yes. So then when I told him, I was like, hey, like, he's like, well, who said that? I was like, it's not important. I'm just saying that, like, this isn't going to work out. Yeah. I was like, I already saw past your bullshit. I got confirmation. Like, no, like, best of luck to your journey. But I'm telling you right now, like, don't be acting like that.
Yeah. Because,
like, you haven't even moved here yet and you're already building yourself a reputation, because girls do talk. Like, I've dated some really nice guys. And it didn't work out with me, but I've been like, I would tell my friends, I'm like, yo, like, that guy's actually a really good guy, and I think y'all would vibe out more.
Yeah.
Instead of being territorial. I think people are so territorial because I see a lot of people dating, like, and it's majority, and I don't want to say guys, but I do see a lot of guys, like, they'll come into the bar and they have a new chick all the time. But if that chick brings in another guy, and they get possessive and they get all territorial. And I'm like, you can't do that. If she's not acting that way towards you, why do you get to act like that? I think it's like an ego thing.
I feel like we live in a world right now where it's like everyone I don't know how to word this for it to make, like, total sense, but it's like, I feel like we live in such a a woke world, right? Where it's like everyone's aware that they have that there's childhood trauma, and everyone's triggered, and everyone's manipulative, and everyone's narcissist, and everyone's this, and everyone's that. But everyone is so quick to call somebody out on being something,
but they don't take accountability
for their own fucking problems and their own issues and their own manipulation and their own fucking like narcissism. I mean, we just watched a TikTok video that talks about like narcissism is a sliding scale. Every single human is narcissistic. It's how narcissistic and whether that narcissism is used in a positive or a negative manner.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, I'm going to have to be narcissistic to be successful, to get to what I need, because I have to look out for me, because nobody else is looking out for me but me.
Right.
You know, and in order for me to get to the top, I got to be a little bit of narcissistic. But it's for a positive way. It's in a positive manner. I'm not doing it to hurt others.
Right.
You know, so it's like everyone is so quick to be like, well, he's manipulative and he's toxic and he's this and he's that, or she's this and she's a bitch and she's a slut. But it's like, wait a second. Like, bitch, you are too. Why don't you just take accountability for the things that you are, work on you as a human? Because literally everyone will tell you, like, you find what you need or what you're looking for when you stop looking for it.
That's
when you focus on yourself and you focus on being better, that is when the universe sends you the person that you are supposed to be with, or that's good for you.
Right.
Because you aren't out there looking for it.
I used to write in my manifestation journal to the T what I was looking for. I used to take characteristics from people that I dated and
you ever seen Practical Magic?
No.
Oh, there's a movie. I'm sure that most of our listeners know it, but it's with Sandra Bullock. And it's one of my favorite movies ever.
Keeps popping up on my Amazon.
You need to see it. You need to watch it. It's old school, but it's about they're witches. And as a child, in the movie Sandra Bullock, when she's a little girl, she has a bowl, and she's like, he's gonna have one blue eye and one green eye, and he's gonna be this, and he's gonna do this. And she literally is putting this bowl together of all the things that her dream man's gonna be. She casts a spell, it like goes off into the moonlight, and then she ends up getting married, has 2 beautiful girls. Her husband ends up dying. And then, you know, she's sad, and then she ends up meeting the guy that she manifested in that bowl at the end of the movie. It's fucking beautiful.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because that's basically like what I was doing. Like I would gather things that I liked from like certain like people that like I've like been involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily been in a relationship with, but like, you know, that kind of thing. And now like everything that I've kind of like essentially manifested is kind of like basically what Tyler is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to give him like a massive ego boost, but like, it's
he
just,
deserves it.
I was like, I want someone that's nice. I want someone that's kind.
Yeah.
I want someone that communicates. I want someone that makes me feel secure. I want someone that like pays attention to the little things.
Yeah.
And
those little things are important.
Because like for me, like even right now, as much as like secure and everything that I feel in our relationship, there's a lot of moments where I'm like, I have to keep reminding myself it's like, it's okay. Like,
yeah. I mean, you
like,
have trauma.
I deserve this. Like,
yes.
It's fine, because it's like a lot of triggers.
Yep.
Because I've been like, I used to give my all to other people, and they would just take, and then bring back my heart in all these little pieces. And it's like, and it's just like preserving it. You once you give one person your heart and they break it, you take it back, you have to fix it.
I'm so guarded.
People are so guarded nowadays.
Yeah.
I see it all the fucking time.
Dating is, I don't think it's ever going to get any easier. But because I was thinking about this too. I'm like, think about when I was in high school. When I was in high school, the only forms of communication other than the home phone, if you had a cell phone, was a pager. But then other than those 2 things, you had to wait till you got home, logged onto your computer to get onto AOL, to aim with your friends. If you wanted to call your friends and you called their house and they weren't there, guess what? You either left a message or you wait till you saw them at school the next day. If you wanted to hang out with your friends, you would like think about back when we had to fucking write letters to people and send it in the mail and wait for the letters to get to their house and them to respond. You know what I'm saying? Like we went weeks at a time sometimes waiting for responses to communicate with people. And now all of a sudden it's so fucking instant. It's expected. And
like,
it's
why
like,
didn't you respond to me
you
right
didn't
away?
respond to me in my text message. And I'm very guilty of this because I have my phone attached to my hand because of my business. You know, I constantly am checking my phone. So I am on my phone a lot. So
Same, but I'm on TikTok.
I get offended and I get mad and I get in my feelings when someone I want to talk to doesn't text me back right away or within a few hours. I'm like, why the fuck are they ignoring me? And it's like, they're not, Samantha. They are, first off, they are not only not required to talk to you every 5 seconds of the day, but like not everyone is on their phone like that. And it's like, I have to humble myself back to the times where it's like, this is not how I was raised.
Right.
You know, this just because we have access to things so instantly doesn't mean it needs to be that way. Mm-hmm. You know? So I think that like dating is so much harder. And I think people just need to learn to like take accountability for their like themselves and like stop relying on other people to be happy. And then like, I don't know, there's so many things. I can literally make a list. That's why I really want to know from our listeners, like what they think is like the top one for them.
Brandon, this is your cue.
Yeah. Because
he's always like sending us beautiful messages.
Yeah. Because
thank you, Brandon.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, I know that maybe this one episode, this one podcast can help slowly trickle into the world of change. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, you know, I know that every person almost longs, you know, to have a significant other. I do. I want to wake up every day with someone that I love and I care about. And like, I want to share my day. I want to build experiences in a life with somebody, but I want it to be with the right person.
Yeah.
I said this to, maybe it was you or maybe it was Savannah, but I was like, you know, I want the next person that I date, like I genuinely am in a relationship with, to be the last person. I don't want to do this dating bullshit anymore. I don't want to do,
it's exhausting.
You know, it is fucking exhausting. And I'm getting to the point where it's like, I only have so much to give anymore. Like I'm tired of giving and not getting.
Yeah. Kind of like how Selena Gomez put it that one time. She's like, I'm not being conceited, but it's like, I love people deeply. Like I'm a good person. And it's like, and you need to meet these requirements in order to be with me. And
it's
and
not
I think
hard.
It's really not. It's just people are so scared to get hurt. That's really what it is.
And people,
people want to fix one another.
It comes down to communication, and it's like, why can't I think the biggest one for me is like people just can't be like when they're not honest. It's like, you know how I feel or how I don't feel, or if you feel a certain way and you notice, like, tell the other person, you know, tell whoever, because at the end of the day, like, why waste each other's times if you guys aren't on the same page?
Yeah. I don't know. It's dating is so confusing, but like, I don't know. So I would just like, if you're a girl or a guy, I would just start manifesting who you want. And slowly but surely, like, if you just keep working on yourself, dude, they'll come.
Yeah, I think that's a great first step in the dating world is like,
that's what I
think
did.
Think about the type of person that you want to date. Instead of just going out there looking for anything, think about the person that you want in your life. And like start making a qualities list, like pros that you like, things that you want this person to have. And when they don't have those qualities, like it's not about like, oh, well, you don't meet every single quality that I want, so I can't date you. But like, you know, be persistent on getting what you want because there is that person out there. Mm-hmm. So
I used to look up to like people in high school that would be in these long ass relationships, and like you never heard about them like fighting or anything like that. You just saw them that they were always together, but they all had their own identities.
Oh yeah.
That's what I really love. That's what I always strived for, and that's what I always was like, that's what I want.
It's funny because I have a very firm belief when it comes to high school relationships. And it sucks because I'm sure there are plenty of high school sweethearts out there that are married to this day still, and good for you. But it does, there's a couple factors, but I 100% believe that any relationship that you have in high school does not last. And no matter, and it's funny because you think at that time you're going to be together forever, you love each other so much, but you grow so much as a person between 18 and 25, and then 25 and 30. Your views, your morals, everything about you changes. And then you change again every 7 years, you know? So it comes into like, eventually you kind of outgrow that person. You may have love for them, But 9 times out of 10, most high school relationships or college relationships end because you're not really the same person that you were when you were 14, 15 years old. You know, you morph into a different person. And it's funny because I told my brother that, I told my sister that, and neither of them are in the relationships that they were with the guy that they were with, but, or girl, brother, girl, sister, guy. You know, but I used to tell him all the time, I'm like, I know I love your girlfriend. She's a sweetheart, but like, you're going to change so much. I know that I was like, because he was like originally kind of talking about marriage. And I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do it. Don't do it. And then sure enough, they broke up. You know, and then he went off into the military, and then he met the girl that he's with now that I pray that he marries because she's fucking amazing.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
So,
but dating, just this is a giant reminder. Dating is so hard. It can be frustrating, confusing. Like, man, it can send you on a massive roller coaster world of emotions. But
be mindful.
Just remember, there's like a bajillion
people out in this world.
Yes.
Well, not only that,
there's one person that
will meet your criteria.
Yes.
And just be mindful that you are, when it comes to dating, you are fucking with people's emotions, which means you're triggering past traumas. You're triggering them in different ways, like you may not even realize. So like,
don't contribute to the mess of dating.
Just be kind, people. Be aware. I don't know. Just.
It's confusing, but just like.
Any advice you could get from us, just.
If you don't want someone lying to you, cheating on you, like messing with your emotions, then don't do it to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Karma. The universe watches. Karma.
But on that note,
don't forget to like, subscribe.
She beat me to it.
I did. Do it. Finish. No, I caught off guard because I was like, I saw your lips moving. I was like, well, shit.
Make sure to follow us at Girlsonfireatx. We do have a .com coming, so please stay tuned for that. And then make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for our newest episodes every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah, go do that right now.
We love you so much.
Okay,
Ciao.
bye.